Bam! Wow. Welcome to Sports Card Shout Out Show. I got Dakota here with Sports Card Anonymous. Dakota, thank you very much for being here, man. Really appreciate it. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, Ziggy. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you giving me the time. I reached out to you before you kind of took the hiatus. I know you did some stuff on content creation, and I followed your channel. What I think you started in 2020 or 2021. Is that right?
Yeah, December 2020. Yeah, the end of
Yeah.
December 2020.
So I wanted to reach out to you because you even said you kind of got in the content business because you're watching people do it. And you're like, hey, I can do something too. And you started your channel, and you kind of took the world by storm for a while. I mean, you have a lot of your subscriber base went up really fast. You have a lot of people who were into you, and I'm a big follower of your stuff. So wanted to get your take on where content is, what your thoughts are on content. I know you had a conversation with Chris on that. And I'll tell you what my thoughts are. I think content's getting better. I think that people are kind of more focused. We're kind of, shedding off noisy content, and people are getting more focused. But I want to get kind of your feedback on where you see the content world and where you think it's going to go.
Yeah, so at the time we're recording this, nobody knows this. By the time, but
Yep.
I'm assuming by the time it's out, most people have seen that I actually have decided to step away from making content. And a big reason that I've decided to step away is I've done a ton of research, like how to make better content and how to make like there's two parts to making better content. You have to understand how to make like actually better content, like the nuts and bolts. The taglines have to be right. The title has to be right. You got to have the right lighting, the right camera, the right audio, all that shit. Right? There's a lot of different things that goes into like just kind of the structure. And then you fill the structure with content that is popular in the niche, right? And the niche is sports cards. And that's the niche that I picked because that's my niche. That's what I enjoy. And I've said multiple times on lives recently, and it's exactly why your question's worded the way it is that I don't like sports card content. I think it's boring. And so as I've tried to understand what is successful in the sports cards niche, which has been probably about the last 3 to 4 weeks of me like digging, I just realized I don't like the content and I'm just over it. I think sports card content is incredibly boring. I don't think it's original. I don't think there's really any value to it. If you go look, if you just go to YouTube and you hit sports cards and then you sort by most viewed over the last like year, you're going to see probably 30 Pac-Man videos ripping some $3,000 box that I'll never put my hands on in real life. You'll see a handful of market mover videos, a team with a full production budget that I'm just never, going to have while I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see a few Card Collector 2 videos, which are awesome. I think it's probably the best content of the three. And I like the other content fine, but it's just not in the realm of things that I could do. And even Card Collector 2, he runs a full-time hobby shop. He has a guy that does all his video editing, does all that stuff. It's just not, it's not something I can do. And I guess I'm tired of spinning my wheels.
Can I ask, are you going to do something else then? I mean, you're very active in the hobby. I can't see you not being active, not participating.
Oh yeah, I'll keep doing hobby stuff. That's a good question. So I'm gonna basically step away from all social media. I've never been a social media person. I will maintain my Discord, and if you're on my Discord, right on. So I mean that's how I'll stay in touch with people. And the video again, you haven't seen it. I'm gonna say that I won't make any more content.
Yep.
I know me. I may want to go live on occasion, but I really don't plan on doing it, but I'll leave that door open a little bit, I guess.
I really appreciate you sharing and open up. Let me share with you. It's funny you say this because I did some research on content. I started my channel similar to you in the sense that I was watching a bunch of stuff and I thought, hey, I can do this too. And I did it as a challenge with my son in 2020. But I also did it because to me, it was a test experiment because I actually want to do something bigger in social media. Sports cards to me was a safe place because like you said, it's a niche. It's a very small niche. Like, let's be honest, the greatest thing you could hope for is maybe you get 100,000 subscribers and you have to kill yourself to get there and you need a production crew to do it, right? And then what does that mean? Are you retired at 100,000 subscribers? No, right? So you make some very good points about that. So it's funny, my content creation has always been very cheap, very on the fly, and really just kind of a hobby to me. I'm wondering, do you feel like kind of burnt out because of that? Or do you feel like, because I really like I said, what I love about you the most is listening to you when you're drinking on a Friday evening. And I have to say, I think I'd miss that the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you continue doing that, if that makes sense.
No, I missed that. No, you're spot on. I missed that the most too. And that's why I said, I will keep the door open to that, but I'm going to try not to. So why is it that way? Right. As you alluded to earlier, I started my channel in December 2020. And that's, middle of the pandemic, middle
Yep.
of you can't go do anything. I'm sitting here stuck watching card content. Card content was the best thing I had going at that point. So let me watch that. Oh, I can do this. And since then, we're almost 2 years past that. What's happened? Um, Lockdowns are over. Life is basically back to normal. I moved from Austin. I moved home to Houston where my family and my friends
Mhm.
are at. Me and my wife had a baby, and so
That's
my
right.
life's just drastically different than it was then. And so if I was still in that same situation, I'd probably still be cranking content and doing that whole thing. But life has just changed so much, and there's just so much more opportunity for me to do other things, which sounds bad. It sounds like I'm crapping on content, but
Yep.
I've talked about it a few times, cash flows and real estate. Like that's really what has always been my dream to get into. And I'm starting to get into a point where I can start to do that. And so that's also along with the baby, the family, the friends,
Yep.
in my hometown, taking more of my time.
Now, is this your only channel? Do you have any other channels, YouTube channels?
I have none other. Will I make another one? I don't know. I've learned a lot about making videos and
Yeah.
stuff. It seems like a waste not to use it, but
Well, the thing is
we'll
that
see.
you've learned a very. I mean, first of all, I would think you're natural. You're very good in front of the camera. You seem very
Thank
comfortable
you.
with it. But I'd also say you built a little revenue stream, whether you're making money or not. You hit the monetization thing. You could make evergreen content, right? That when you come across something you think's good, a how to, put it on your channel and just drop it, and not make it a like I have to put content every week. Just do it when you feel it, you know. And I would encourage, if you can, keep doing the conversations and broaden them, man. Make them more into sports. Like I know you're very focused in football. I'd love to see you do something around maybe fantasy football, trash talking or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't
you know,
know.
it's funny listening to you too. It makes me, one thing I'd say too, I want to mention, I feel like what content has been growing is that organic hobby content. Like, do you follow the bench clear guys and the hobby palooza guys that they did? Are you familiar with
I've
that group?
seen their content. I can't say I
Yeah.
follow them, but I've seen their content. Yeah.
Well, if you follow that group, in fact, I know you weren't at the national, but they did a little a happy hour group and so that. But a lot of the content is just really geeky, showing off stuff, sharing breaks, sharing rips, trading cards. And I think we're seeing more people going back to that, just again, sharing their stories, not about giving tips and flips and how to make money. Just, hey, this is what I like. This is the card I collected. My favorite guy I think I'd recommend is Pepino Man. If you've ever followed this guy,
Yeah, yeah. I've spoken
right?
with Pepino Man, been
Yeah.
live with him. So
I
yeah,
mean,
he's
that guy
great.
is as pure as a collector as can be. His content is him, using his notebook and writing down. So
Yeah,
it's
and but just to your point, I mean, in a way, I do agree with you. I do think we're seeing a lot of growth, like as a grassroots movement, I
yep,
suppose.
yep,
But what you're seeing is a lot of channels move up to 15 and 1800 subscribers and then hitting a ceiling, and you're just seeing a ton of channels do that.
yeah.
You're not really seeing a lot of growth past that, and I mean that's okay for a lot of people and whatever, but it's just not what I want to do right now. I spend so much time and effort, on the channel. The growth just, I guess, hasn't been worth it for me at the end of the day.
It's and I can understand that's funny, and you're ahead of me in subscribers, but you are absolutely right. In fact, I was talking to Dustin about it. I mean, there's kind of a window where I think a lot of people who were in the right window broke 10,000 and they're safe at 10,000, but getting there is very hard right now. You're right. There's like from 2000 to 10 is I wonder what the community of active YouTube subscribers really is. You know what I'm saying? They're really passionate about YouTube content.
This is a great question. It's something I've thought about a little bit, and it's a big reason why it's kind of turning me off of making content because, like, my channel, a regular video for me, I'm gonna pump 1,100 views, right? And I've
It's
got
amazing.
5,000 subscribers. You look at Neo, he's got more than double me in subscribers, and his views are going to be around 3,000, right? A little bit more
Mhm.
than double, right? Pretty equivalent. But outside of your mega channels, your handful of 100,000, it's like 3,000 views. And I'm like, guys, if I, shit around in Pokemon, I could accidentally get 3,000 views. Like
I
it's
agree.
insane the
Yeah.
scale. And people are going to see this and they're going to think I'm greedy or it is that. Or, yeah, I like progression. I like to progress. And so far, I progressed in a lot of ways. My collections progressed. How I interact with cards has progressed. It's much more sophisticated than it was 2 years ago. Me being able to make videos has
Yep.
progressed. But to me, it feels like I've kind of carried this torch as far as I can. And I think I need to go look at doing something else now.
That makes sense. Funny, I'll share another little confession with you. What I would truly love to do, and I'm just too cowardly to do it right now, is do a political YouTube channel.
Mhm.
I love politics, and it's such a wide market. When you think about who your audience could be, we're talking hundreds of millions of people. When you look at sports cards, you're really talking, like we said, maybe 100,000. And I have thought about a lot I've learned from this that I'd like to adapt in that. And I agree with you, man. When you talked about those other channels that are putting out that stuff, I also mentioned every one of those has a staff, right? If you're a one-man band and a father and working and building other things on the side, it's grueling. It's just kind of hard to kind of stomach. Can I ask, are you going to still play with your data tools, Laura? Are you gonna still buy and sell? Are you still gonna
Oh
be
yeah, yeah. I'll still be active in the.
okay?
I mean, I was active in the hobby before the pandemic. Like
Okay.
I'll never not be active in the. The thing is, people flippers get such a bad rap and all that, and I really don't consider myself a flipper. I'm a collector, but I really do enjoy buying and selling cards. Like I enjoy buying third string wide receivers because I'm like, he's gonna get some love, and
Waiting
then he
for
gets
it. Yeah.
love, and I make $3, and I'm like, haha, suckers, I was smart. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
On the Discord, we talk about that kind of shit all the time because that's just what we enjoy doing. It's just fun, we find fun in that. It's not like real money, I mean, it's literally $2 and $3 buys on ComC, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
fun.
it is funny. It's kind of like a stock market, and it is a patient man's game. That's the one
Mhm.
thing I say I've learned about sports cards. A lot of people come to sports cards very young and they want the money quickly. They open a pack, they want to sell immediately. But you're right, it's a patience man game. You can see trends, you can buy cheap wide receivers and wait for them to have a good stretch in the game. You can see a playoff run, whatever it might be, and take advantage of those moments. So there is a lot of fun to still be had, I guess, in sports cards on the side. So well, man, I don't know what else to ask you here. I'm excited about you sharing this information with me. I look forward to your video. I will ask, if you ever want to come on the channel, I'd love to have you on the channel, man. If I can ever do anything to help you in any way. If you're ever in
Yeah.
the DC area, reach out, if you're hanging out at the airport or driving through, I'd love to come out and meet you. And I totally respect, and I'll say this too. I think what you are is an example of a lot of people in the hobby. It's not that you're not as active or not active. It's just you're not as active, right? Life is interrupting. You got a new child, you got things going on, you got hustle with the houses and stuff you're working on. And I think a lot of that's happening. I think it's why the hobby's seen, not necessarily a downgrade. It's just that people have got more things to juggle right now. So
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about, I'm going to talk about it in my video, so you can talk about it if you want. But, one thing I'm going to talk about is negativity too in the hobby. It's not good. Look, and I don't mean
yeah,
not to be critical of people, but when 1 out of 3 comments is some shitbird, it's just like, all right, guys, I put all this work in to get 1,000 views, to get 30 comments, and 10 of them are people being shitbags. And it's just like, all right, guys, like, it's not, I can't do this. It's not worth it.
yeah. I'll say I'm very used to that. You can elaborate a little bit more on it. I've kind of gotten immune to it. Like I get more negative comments, so when I get the positive one, I take a lot of pride in the positive one.
Yeah, sure. They
Um,
stand out then, huh?
yeah, they do. And I will say that I've tried to be a little more appreciative of people. You know what I'm saying? Like even I'll say this, even the worst content is still good content because I applaud the person for putting it together. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like there's that one guy who rants all the time about people. I think we know what we're talking about without saying his name. He's done videos on you and other people. You know what I'm talking about?
Might be myself at this point. Who knows?
No, it's this other guy, but because he might even do a video on us. But I applaud him for he's the guy who thinks that Janet Jackson and Diana Ross and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're
Which
talking
my
about.
whole question is, so what? Like, if that's the case, would that make a difference? I don't know. Like, would that change the world if Michael Jackson and
He thinks it
anyway,
will.
I applaud him for doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I'm critical of somebody, I applaud them for at least doing it. And I will always encourage people to debate and discuss why they're negative. Like if it's just a poop comment, I think that's terrible. But I hope that's not what drove you away, because I do think you were a much more positive person in the community than many other people were, Dakota. I
It
think you
just
were a
all
voice
ties in,
of reason.
like
So
like I said, I'm a person that likes to progress, and I feel like I've kind of hit a ceiling here. But on top of that, like I don't enjoy making the content anymore. Like I don't enjoy it. And when I look and I try to go find what is some content I could enjoy making, I just don't see it in sports cards. And then it's like, oh man, this is really like a detractor. And then on top of that, it's like, a lot of people are negative and give you a lot of
yeah.
shit for a lot of things. And it's just like, all right, when I look at all this, like I'm not really getting out of this anything that I enjoy out of this. So what am I still doing?
Yeah. I have a sense that there's somewhere there was a conversation and you said, is this making my life better or worse? And the answer was, it's not making it better. And you decided to remove it. Fair?
Well, yeah, and the more because I've thought about it quite a bit, and monetization, right? Everybody, well, you specifically talk about that stuff, and I think a big reason why I chased a lot of monetization is because I'm like, all right, this is not as good for me as it was a year and a half ago, right? So how can I make it better? Well, let me get some more money. Okay, let me try to get some more money. And it's like, well, that wasn't really good. Can I get some more money? And you get, I mean, look, I mean, if I'm lucky, I'll make $600 a month off of like sports card influencer stuff. Like mostly the eBay partner is the biggest one. It's the best freaking thing by far, and it's a steal at what it is, right? But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so it's just like, all right. I mean, it's just there's no dollar figure here. Even if I was making $4 grand a month on sports cards, I mean, people would say, "Oh, you would stick around." I wouldn't. Me and my wife both have a good career. I'm talking about financial independence and cash flow. Like it $4,000 a month for the amount of work that I'm putting in does not interest me.
Yeah. Opportunity cost.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And again, I understand that. I mean, money is not my motivator. It's just not. I understand why it is for other people. Um, so it is what it is, man. Anyway, I appreciate this, that you've been very open. And again, you kind of blew my mind. I wasn't expecting this tonight. I'll definitely probably post this video on Saturday night. I'll wait for you to get yours out, man. Thank you, Dakota. And I sincerely do mean I wish you the best.
Yeah,
I
sure,
hope you
man.
all stay in touch. And like I said, if you're ever in the area, please reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feel free to ping me. I don't want to ghost the whole community. I haven't made up my mind yet. If someone pings me to go on a live, I haven't made up my mind if I'll do it yet or not.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm open to it. So, I don't know. I'll think about it.
Well, I've seen people come and leave. So do what you got to do, man. I'm going to go ahead and, guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everybody who's been able to come, subscribe, and support the channel. And, again, thank you, Dakota. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
subscribe to his. You can't subscribe to mine anymore. That's a lie. You still could, but subscribe to his anyway.
Yeah, thank you very much.